right, go ahead. There we go. All right, man. So just take me through this TBT. Obviously, OU's really never been a part of it. What kind of role are you hoping to play with the team and hope to accomplish with this thing?
For me, I mean, it's great to be able to get the guys back together. Some guys that I do know, some guys that I haven't really known fully to yet. But for me, my role is just be the glue guy, energy guy. That's exactly how I play. I probably definitely was coming up with adventures was great because I play, but I don't play like some of the other guys.
Yeah.
But just be the glue guy, man. Just be high energy. Just be out there playing hard. And at the end of the day, like that's what it's about. And that's just who I am to begin with. So
this is about the third or fourth year for it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Just take me through your impression of it the first few years, what you think when you watch these games up till now.
Oh man, when I first kind of got hip to it about 3 years, the second year of TBT.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, it's some high level basketball. I would love to play this sometime. And then I was going to be an add-on, I think not the year the Commerce Crew won it, the year before I was helping them with practice before they were going, when they made it to, I think maybe close to almost the Final Four. I was going to be add-on with them, but then they ended up losing before the next week, and I was going to go with them. But that's when I was still playing, and that's when I'm like, man, this would be really good to play in. And I'm glad that we kind of got a team this year because I'm like, man, this is what it's about. So, I mean, with all of us, we like to compete, and that's something that, basketball is always going to be something I do. Obviously, I'm in good playing shape. Obviously, I'm still a coach, but at the same time, I go give you a bucket now.
How you doing, Nick?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey,
I'm good.
What?
Nice to you join.
Bro, I got jammed up on the times. I forgot you're out of my head.
Me and Justin are not trying to hear that jammed up stuff, bro.
Nick, the first question, the same thing I asked Stevie, was just to be part of this first team. What does it mean? Because it obviously hasn't happened for OU before, just to be part of it.
Right. No, it means a lot, man. When Kenny reached out to me, it was just it's honestly an honor and just really exciting that he was trying to get something together from the teams in the past and the guys that played in the past, and to represent OU and to obviously have a chance to just be together and play and hopefully win a couple games and try to make it as far as we can. But more than anything, just getting a group of guys together and that most of us that represented the Ohio name and Bobcat Nation. So it's definitely an honor, and hopefully I'll be able to play. But if not, just even being considered and asked to play was a big deal to me.
I don't know if you're allowed to say, but hopefully if things go the way you want them to, you guys win on Tuesday, will you still be able to make it up if you do win, or are you just going to take some time off?
Sure. I'm honestly not sure, just because of, there could be some logistical things or schedule things that might be going on here over the weekend or whatever the case may be. So I'm still kind of up in the air. I'm hoping that I can make it, but I'll know for sure, hopefully in the next couple of days or so.
Okay, I got you. Looks like Kenny's trying to join here too. I already asked Stevie this too, but just your impression of TBT when you first saw it. It's a couple of years into it now. What kind of basketball do you look at? What's your perspective of this thing? Because it's a little bit different than what we're used to.
Right. I think more than anything, it's a great tournament for one. A lot of good players. Just competing for that grand prize, which is obviously a crazy format kind of, but it's just fun, man. It's just like Stevie said, like we're all hoopers. Like this is kind of what we do. This is what we've been doing for a long time, and to have the opportunity to get together with a group of guys and compete, that's the biggest thing for me. Just competing, being able to play, and obviously the prize money is just kind of the icing on the cake. But more than anything, it's just about hooping and being out there with a group of guys that you enjoy.
How you doing, Kenny?
Good. Thanks. Sorry I'm late.
No, it's all right. I guess the first question is, did you put this team together? Who all had a hand in helping put this together for OU here?
Yeah. So I reached out to actually these two guys first and second, and, pretty much said, I knew that they're a big presence as Bobcats, and they would bring a lot to the table, marketing wise and on the court. And they said, say less, we're in. And then once I got the commitment from those two guys, I kind of expanded to the rest of the roster.
What's it been like to maybe see guys that you haven't in a long time and get a group of guys together that normally wouldn't under normal circumstances, right?
Yeah, it's good. You know, everyone has that Bobcat pride that we kind of put on my original 10 that I wanted to go after. So it was cool to kind of build an all-star team, you know, of the last decade plus of OU players. So it'll be neat, you perspectives and you know, a lot of coaching staffs and styles up in there. So it's definitely going to be an interesting mix.
For Stevie and Nick, I don't know if you guys had a group text with all the guys that are part of this, but what has it just been like to hear from guys that you haven't heard from in some time and to remember and maybe reminisce about some moments that you had in college and maybe you had forgotten about because, you know, life moves on?
No, I mean, Kenny had started a group chat with the guys, and it's great. You know, like I'm a big group chat kind of guy. Like just how I play, you know, I bring the energy, I bring the jokes. So it was great to be able to be in contact because some people I didn't have their numbers,
Right.
and just being able to connect with one, you know, former players that wore the same jersey as you, and then the same guys that you went to school with. You know, just kind of catch up and kind of see what guys are doing. Like obviously, me and Kellogg, you know, we're best friends, so we literally talk every day. So I'm not really worried about staying in contact with Kellogg. But you know, the other guys, man, it's great to, you know, see them chirp back and talk back a little bit and kind of like, hey, fellas, we got to get out there. We got to play hard. We got to do this and that. So, you know, as a guy that loves people, you know, it's perfect for what I like. So,
Same question for you, Nick.
Yeah, no, it's been good. To be honest, though, you know, I haven't been extremely active in the group chat, but just to hear those, you know, and see those guys that are in there, and like Stevie said, it's him and I mean, our relationship it goes beyond the group chat. But yeah, no, it's good just to come together and know that, you know, these guys shared some of the same experiences you did and, you know, wore that jersey. It's just an honor and looking forward to it during the tournament.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask what you guys thought, your impression, what you said to Coach Bowles after the tournament run last year. It kind of gave everybody that memory of the 2012 team and what they were able to accomplish and beating Virginia, a team that won the national championship the year before, I guess the COVID year before. Just your impression of where OU is going in basketball. And it seems like people are scheduling against them like Kentucky this year coming up. What do you think the future holds for them? And what was your reaction to them winning that tournament game?
oh, I mean, I had called him before the game. You know, hey, just wanted to call and say, you know, good luck because me and Coach Bowles are pretty close to an extent. But you know, after, you know, winning that Virginia game, it gives you a sense of pride. Like we're back. You know, like I said, we haven't been back since we've had good teams along the way, but we haven't been back since we went in 2012. And to be 9 years later and seeing them doing and getting that first round win and almost getting another win to get to the Sweet 16 like we did, it's like it's pretty cool, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like we talk about it in our other group chat, you know, all the time. Like I was just with Walter Offit this past weekend, and you know, we're still sharing stories, and I'm still giving him crap about missing that free throw against North Carolina. That's kind of like the running thing that we always say. It's like, come on, Walt, man, you messed it up. We could have had one more game. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, you messed up. Like, oh, well, it wasn't for me. We wouldn't have got there. Me and Kellogg did everything. Hey, you got a point there. So you know, we're still 10 years later, 9 years later, we're still sharing the same stories. And, you know, my dads keep calling me. The biggest thing is just like, remember the time that would have had nothing to do with even playing. Like being in the hotel and, you know, go and get something to eat and just from Nashville to St. Louis, like the stuff that happened off the court was the stuff that we talk about the most versus actually what took place on the court. So,
Nick.
Yeah, just more than anything, it's just exciting to see where Coach Bowles has taken the team and where he hopes to continue to grow with them. It's a big time. They had a really good team. They had really good players, and as an alum, you want to see them succeed at the end of the day. And you know, I think Coach Bowles is the right guy for the job. We've talked over the years just with him being at Ohio State prior, and I've developed a pretty decent relationship with him. But I think he's got him on a great track. I think they're going to continue to succeed in the MAC and beyond. And and again, as an alum, that's all you really hope for is for your school to continue to do well and continue to have a chance to win and compete at a high level. So.
Kind of going off that, Kenny, what do you think people watching the TBT will learn about OU, maybe that they don't already know, or that OU is kind of a basketball school that is starting to be known and it's making a name for itself? What will they learn about OU in TBT this year?
And just that we're tough to play against in all circumstances in regard to tournaments, right? Like we've built a reputation as the team that you don't want to see on that selection Sunday when the bracket comes out, and we're going to extend that to, hey, you don't want to see us in the TBT either. So it's a little different in the fact that we're not preparing for a full season for this, but these guys are pros, around pros, and a lot of them are coaches now. So we know to win at the highest level, and we know how to be competitive.
For Stevie and Nick, just talking to me about basketball in Central Ohio and you guys coming from there, deciding to pick OU. I think sometimes guys, they want that Power 5 offer, and you see a guy like Jason Preston. It doesn't have to necessarily be like that. What is that background like of deciding to pick a school like OU and what it can do for your career, whether you stay in basketball or not?
For me, it came down to Akron, Toledo, in Ohio. If I would have went to Toledo, I would have been the perceivable man my freshman year. But I didn't want to go to Toledo because it wasn't a campus feel. I didn't feel like I'd be at college. And Akron, could have been the same thing, but I didn't like where the campus was located. So OU was kind of almost not a no-brainer for me. Like they were my second offer my freshman year of high school before I played my high school basketball. So they were on me pretty tough, and I knew I was going to be playing behind DJ. But picking OU was like, it was great. I had the campus feel. It still was close to home. They had a lot of Columbus guys on the roster. Obviously, I've known Kellogg since the third grade. But, he'll tell you, like, I picked OU because he was there. That was not the case. I didn't ask for him to be my roommate. Coach Gross just asked me, say, hey, you can live with Kellogg too. I'm like, all right, cool, that's fine. So I didn't ask to be his roommate. He'll tell you that. But, OU was a no-brainer for me. I love Coach Gross. I love the style. He was on me pretty hard before my freshman year anyway. So that was kind of the reason why I picked OU. I just love the campus, and I love Coach Gross.
For Central Ohio, Nick, we saw 4 teams last year on the men's side make it to the state tournament game, and there's a lot of talented players. What is basketball like in Central Ohio for people that don't know? Obviously, a guy like Des Watson just surpassed you at DeSales. How has basketball developed?
You did that again one time? Des Watson did what? Oh, okay.
Oh man.
I got the record of my high school,
here, bro.
Yeah. I just wonder how basketball in Central Ohio has kind of developed from when you guys went to school, and what's the talent like in this area?
I just think it's continuing to grow more than anything. It was good. It was quite honestly, it was good before me, kind of in my brother's era in his class, and we had really good teams like my freshman year and before that, and then obviously with us, and I just think it continues to grow. I think it's a good basketball, or Ohio in general is just a good state, and especially Central Ohio. There's a high density for good players and good teams and good high schools, good programs. Like I just think it's continuing to grow. But yeah, OU was definitely a pretty easy choice for me as well, just as far as my relationship with Coach Gross and proximity to home, things like that, things that Stevie kind of mentioned. And I just thought it would be a good fit. And that's really what it comes down to when you're picking a school. It's more about fit and how you can be your best, as opposed to, always going for, a Power 5 or high major or whatever the case may be. And those are still obviously awesome goals and aspirations, but sometimes, you take a different road and it can be just as beneficial for your development, your growth, and your game. And I think that's kind of what happened with me. I had a couple options to be a preferred walk-on at some high major schools and maybe earn a scholarship, year 2 or 3. But, I definitely wanted to be a scholarship player all 4 years and have a chance to impact a team and a program. And that's kind of what drove my decision to go to OU. And like Stevie said, campus is great, proximity, and then obviously my love and my relationship with Coach Gross was really the things that kind of drove me to Athens. And for the record, Stevie has to be my roommate. So I just
Go, bro. You gotta let that one go, bro.
Just a couple more questions. I know you guys got to get on with your day, but for Kenny, I know the ultimate goal is to win $1 million and do all of that and obviously win the tournament. But aside from winning it, what is a goal that you had when you put this team together?
To give Bobcat Nation another rallying cry, another thing to rally behind, right? So I actually decided to go. I was playing with the idea of doing this for the tournament, and then when OU went on that run, won the MAC championship, and then beat Virginia, I was like, I need to strike now while the iron's hot. The pride and the passion for OU athletics and basketball is so high. I knew that there was going to be no choice but to rally behind it for everyone. So that's kind of where the idea came from. And then from there, get these guys on board, and the rest has kind of been history. But the ultimate goal is just to unite Bobcat Nation one last time and, give them a chance to see some of these players again. Some of these players didn't finish their career at OU and would have done different things differently if they were a little more mature or older at the time and made better decisions. So it's an opportunity for them to put on the jersey of the school that they chose and wanted to represent, and kind of get a second chance playing representing the OU Nation.
A lot of people, fans are going to get reacclimated with you guys and the tournament run and those talented teams back then. I wonder if you can just take me through what you guys are up to right now. I'm sure they're curious. Nick, you're working with the Bucks. Can you tell me what you're doing with them, and Stevie as well, what you're doing and what you guys have been up to?
Yeah, so I'm a video coordinator and player development assistant right now with the Bucks. This is obviously my first year. COVID kind of got in the way of playing overseas this past season, so decided to opt out and try to get my foot in the door here into the coaching world, and this is kind of where I landed. And fortunately enough, it's been a heck of a ride, obviously, as you guys have seen, to work for very class organization. Great management, great coaches, great staff, and obviously great players. It's been quite the experience to be around, this level of basketball and this level of knowledge around the game. So it's been really, really fun. I've been able to obviously be on the court, stay in shape a little bit, and pick up just a lot of knowledge just throughout the season. And hopefully, again, like you said earlier, hopefully it ends the right way here. But it's either way, it's been a heck of a run, and it's been awesome to be a part of it.
Just a quick follow-up there. What would a world title mean to you? I mean, I'm sure you saw it happening in a different way, but what would that mean for you personally? Your career, the way it's gone to land at this point, what would that be for you?
It would mean a lot, man. Again, just being part of it, like, obviously, like for me, like when I was a player, so winning as a player is I think the ultimate like feeling and the satisfaction of all the hard work you've put in and the sacrifices you've made and what you've put your body through to get to the culmination of some type of championship, whether it be a NCAA or college professional or overseas, whatever the case may be. Like the culmination is a world championship when you're playing. As a staff member, it's a little different. It's not necessarily that you don't matter, but it's like it's just a little different feeling. Like it would be awesome for sure, and to be a part of it would definitely be amazing and something that I'll always look back on and have a feel about. But there's a part of me too that's just like, I mean, I know I've helped and I've had an impact, but like you got to give the credit to these guys, man. These dudes seen it up close. Like these dudes put in so much work, and it's just unbelievable to what they've been able to accomplish, and especially in a shortened season and all the protocols and all that. Like it's been a lot. But no, I would definitely love to, again, just being a part of it, in whatever capacity. To be honest, it would be awesome. and be great, and something that will always be on my basketball resume for sure.
And Steve, that same question I had for you, just about what you've been up to.
Yeah. So I'm into coaching. End up starting at Boston College with Jim Christian. Was that 2 years ago? Yeah, about 2 years. No, 3 years ago. I was there from 17 to 19. So I got into coaching, and I'm at my current job now. I'm at Langston University, NAI in Oklahoma City, and just rising up through the coaching ranks, man. I think, just putting in my time, working my way up. I think that's the natural progression. I mean, like with anything, it's hard to get in this business. It's hard to get in anything. And I think if you could start at the ground level and work your way up and be somebody and make yourself into something, it'll pay off long term. So that's just kind of where I'm at now, and just kind of rising up to the coaching ranks, man.
This is just last question for all of you. It's not really about TBT, but I'm curious to get your take on how much you watch Jason Preston. He might be the first Bobcat drafted in a long time, since 2003. His story, remarkable. I wonder if I can just get your take on that and what that does for a school like OU to get somebody drafted, if that happens.
Yeah, I watched him quite a bit. First of all, he's an outstanding player. And also, just from the time that I've talked to him, an outstanding young man. And again, I alluded to it earlier, like all you want as an alum is to see your school succeed, especially when, guys can get to the highest level. And so that would be obviously amazing and tremendous for him as an individual player, because that's always the ultimate goal, to get to the league. And then again, I think the after effects of just being good for OU, and good for OU basketball, and letting guys out there know that, and not just OU, but just mid-major level, like you can go mid-major, and if you can play and if you're a pro, they'll find you. Like you don't have to have a certain path or have to do this or do that. Like if you can play, you put in the work and you put in the time, you can ultimately get to that level. And I think that'd be awesome for him. I'm pulling for him. He actually literally just had a pre-draft workout here a couple of days ago, so I got to holler at him a little bit. Definitely pulling for him. I think that'd be awesome, and I think he deserves it. I think he can play at that level, so we'll see what happens. But definitely happy for him, and again for OU as a whole.
Yeah, same thing with piggyback off Nick said. I haven't had much time to talk to him or anything like that, but I went back last year to watch College play against Purdue. So I sat front row for that, and like I said, he's a hell of a player. We'd love to have him on our team, trust me. But again, we're happy for him, and like I said, it brings more awareness. It rallies Ohio, the community, the basketball community at Ohio. So it does great. And like I said, I hope he does well and prosper. Like that's what we want. If you're a part of the Bobcat family, you want others to do well. You support others that wore that same jersey. So again, I'm praying for him. I hope he does well, and I'm happy for the Ohio community to see that. I think that does a lot for people in Ohio. There's a lot of people from where he's from, and just the overall bringing Ohio recruits into Athens. It kind of turns up the notch a little bit in Athens, and that's what you want. You want your old school to do well, because at the end of the day, we like to compete for championships, and we like to win. So I'm here for it.
Kenny, is there anything I forgot about TBT that you'd like to add? Anything that you want to say before the tournament starts here?
No, yeah, just to piggyback on what they said, specifically, if he wins, we win, and maybe after a nice long NBA career, he'll still have some gas left in the tank, and we'll sign him to the TBT for a couple go.
Yeah, for sure.
I guarantee that $1 or $2 million prize, whatever it is at the time, but. No, overall, just, we're getting into, a lot of the guys are getting in tomorrow for training camp, and we're going to hit the ground running with practice over the next couple of days and try to throw this thing together. And then, a lot of people are talking about Zip 'em Up as being a surprise team. They're their first year team. Everyone's picking them to win in their expert bracket. So we're excited for the opportunity to be 15 seed again, right where we want to be, and kind of shock the TBT world, if you will.
Well, I appreciate all of your guys' time. Hopefully we can do a follow-up, maybe semifinals as you guys advance in this tournament. But either way, I appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck with everything for all three of you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks for getting this together.
Yeah, no worries. Take care, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys.
Good luck, Nick. We'll let's do the get that win, get your parade over with, and we'll see you Saturday.
Sounds good.
Back.
I hope it works out that way.
All right, I'll see ya.
All right,
All
Kenny.
right, see you guys.